Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. I'm Heather Lewis. Because of COVID-19, Missouri and Arkansas schools will be closed the remainder of this school year. It's going to be a challenge not only for parents turned teachers, but also for the thousands of senior high school students who are missing out on certain learning opportunities to prepare them for their future. Harrison Carpenter is the author of Practical Pursuit. He's teamed up with some schools in Arkansas to help with this situation. And Brandon Lynch is the internship coordinator at Bentonville West High School in Arkansas. Thank you both so much for being here with us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
So, Brandon, let's start with you. Talk about some of the challenges that teens and teachers are going through right now, having their school year cut short.
It's been tough. My kids are internship kids, so we partner with people in our community in Bentonville. And so we had to basically take it from a job, that where they were going into their jobs every day and gaining real world experience to kind of taking it to virtual. And it's been unique and definitely a challenge.
So you're really kind of having to rethink how you do your class.
Yeah, completely. We only met one day in internship. We only meet one day a week. So they go to their place of employment, Walmart, hospitals, wherever they're at. And we would meet on a Friday to go over content like we're going to kind of review today.
So teachers are having to get creative then, and that's where, Harrison, you come in too. So together you all are doing this virtual class to get seniors ready for the workforce or internships. Harrison, what will they learn through this course?
They get a number of different trainings. First one we teach is called the Tell Me About Yourself speech, or as some organizations call it, it's called an elevator speech. And essentially that's just a student being able to identify who they are in about a 30-second or minute conversation. And why we start with that is because it kind of gives a good outlook of where they are now, but also casts some goals that they're looking forward in their future. And along with that, it's usually the first question in a job interview. The first few ones are really foundational and building relationships and then outlining a path. And then the last few trainings we talk about resume building and having a cover letter and a reference list and a reference letter and printing it out on solid paper. And then some etiquette type stuff, what you need to wear.
So this is all being done virtually, and you're using social media because let's face it, every kid's on social media these days. The big one right now is TikTok. So how are you implementing that into the classroom?
The idea is that we teach the trainings and we're kind of condensing them quite a bit because we want to be able to keep their attention. So I'm sending Brandon, and I'll let him touch on it too, but sending him some training videos that are about 4 or 5 minutes long. Some of them might be a little bit longer, depending on the topic. But we're asking the student to put together a TikTok video that sort of outlines that they grasp the information. And so it's been kind of cool because they're really not doing anything more than just sending a video, but it's a mental thing. And so if you say, just send us a video, it's not going to spark that attention from a high school kid that if you say, send me a TikTok. And I'll let Brandon kind of talk about just using that word TikTok on what it's done for his students.
Yeah, so, and we start out, our district starts out with, we're all a part of Google Classroom. So before we released for school, all of my kids became a part of our Google Classroom, which is kind of the platform we use. And so we use, this TikTok stuff. It allows them to be creative. They get excited about using that just because it is kind of new and it's fresh. And so to be able to use, something like that to enhance a short elevator speech or practice questions on, they just enjoy it.
Harrison, you talked about some of the basics, and these really are the basics of learning how to get into the workforce and do an interview. Is that something that, going back to basics is the most important part of landing a job?
That's what I've learned. And so we didn't just come up with this in the last 5 minutes. This has been years in the making. I've worked for a nonprofit that my wife and I founded in Central Arkansas the past 5 years. But before that, I had a career in corporate management, and so I really learned a lot of the tips and the tricks and some of how the game works on how to get yourself ahead. And so as I'm working in the community with kids, I started realizing how much our students are lacking in some of these basic principles. But it's really those basic principles that I started learning as a young professional that allowed me to advance. And so I just started, they don't need to know all of it right now, but there are a lot of those little principles that we've highlighted in the book that, how to word a resume and just some trigger words that they can touch on. And just to name a few, like customer service or judgment, those types of things to put in a resume. And the fact of the matter is a lot of them don't even have a resume. And that's what we're learning is that high school students aren't leaving high school with the resume built. And so with this back to basics sort of mentality, it is basic, but it's really catapulting them and gaining this momentum with them that's getting them 5-10 years ahead of the game from when I started learning a lot of these principles.
Very good. Well, Brandon and Harrison, I wish you the best of luck in getting through the rest of this school year. And what a awesome thing you guys are doing, using social media to get these kids to interact and really be excited to learn too, because it is tough when you're stuck at home and you have schoolwork to do. So applaud you for actually making it exciting for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Appreciate you having us.
We will be right back with more Ozarks Tonight. Keep it here.